Make sure you hit stream. Good evening and welcome to Proctor High School for tonight's tilt between our very own Proctor Rails and the Bombers from Barnum, Minnesota. With me tonight, Ted Keevan is always with me tonight. I got a special guest joining us. We got Coach Chad Brenna coming back into the house, helping us out with the broadcast tonight. How you doing, Coach?
Good, thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely, it's my pleasure. I worked here for you as your in-house announcer. Got to title everybody Lady Rails, that kind of stuff like that. So I'm glad to have you here. What are you up to these days?
I'm in my first season at Finlandia University as an assistant women's coach there. For those of you that don't know where Finlandia University is, it's
middle of nowhere, right?
It's pretty close.
Or do you got to take a left to get to the middle?
Well, you got to take a left and then a couple rights. We are located on the sunny and snowy Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Wow, that's a bit ways up there. So, and how are things going on up there for you?
Good. Coaching with John Motherwell, who was an assistant with the Gopher women for several years. He called me in March and said, "Hey, I just took a head job, and I want you to be an assistant coach." And I went, "Okay."
That's got to be hard. It's got to be a tough feeling to be wanted.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's rough, isn't it?
It's rough.
It's a terrible problem to have. Well, congratulations on that step for you there, Coach. Thanks for being here tonight. It'll be nice to have you, being a Proctor, knowing most of these boys. I've gotten to know most of them too, but it's also nice to have that basketball influence come in on that color side. So thank you for helping out.
Oh, anytime.
So let's just talk a little bit about the Bombers. I know that you, with me asking you about 15 minutes before game time, if you wanted to do this, you don't have a whole lot to go on, but Barnum's coming in 3-1. Their leading scorers to date are Tyler Noss, who is just a lights-out shooter. Every game you look at, he's out there just he leads every game. I did a little bit of a comparison. Floodwood, he had 25. Crosby Ironton, he had 20. Cromwell, he had 19. So figure he's averaging about 21 a game. And I hear he plays a pretty good bit of defense also. Throwing that with Samuel Goodwin, another great player on this team. I was actually talking with their head coach before the game, and he said, they don't have any basketball players, but they have a lot of great athletes and even better kids. So nice to get those kind of compliments to the students.
Well, as a coach, you're always super excited when you walk into the gym and you have a group of kids that are super athletic, because that always keeps you in the game. When you look at Barnum. Barnum has always got 2 or 3 players that are super athletic that can just stroke the ball. Coach Newman's son, he plays up at Scholastica. I love watching that kid play basketball. And, from where he came from, you look at Barnum. Barnum is always a contender. They're in every game all the time. They're super athletic. They hit the glass hard, and they just get after it and play gritty basketball.
Well, and that's the kind of players you want. No matter whether it's basketball, football, whatever, it's that gritty.
Absolutely, and you look at the team that we're playing. You look at the team that Barnum's playing today. Proctor, alumni from here, played here. My old coach used to be the AD. He's sitting down there at the bottom of the crowd. I got the pleasure of coaching all these boys when they were in middle school for football and stuff. This is a good, hard-working, gritty group of guys too. John Piero, he's a senior. You got Cody Hampton. These are all super athletic kids. They're going to show us a little basketball tonight.
Absolutely, and I got to tell you, I have to. I'll tell you off air during a break, but I got a deal going on with Cody Hampton that our first game here with Hermantown, Eldine goes up for a dunk, and I had all these cool words as you're doing stuff, right? I'm going to broadcast this, and if there's a good dunk, I'm going to have something really cool. and all I could pull out was Phi Slamma Jamma,
Well,
so
there's worse things, Ted.
there is true, but so he was making fun of me. So now we have a word that I have to input somewhere into the broadcast, and I got to make sure that word fits what we're doing, and I can't just say it.
Hopefully we get to see it dunk tonight, then.
Absolutely. So just a little bit more about Barnum by halves. Their second half is definitely their higher scoring half at 109 points compared to 68 points in the first. They're 3-1 with one conference loss, and sitting in where they are, Barnum is actually that one loss, I believe, came to Moose Lake Willow River. That's their one loss in the season. They lost that game 44-47, so it's not like they were too much out of the realm. So honestly, sitting in the basement in the Polar, but not really, because everybody's got basically one game except for Esco and Southridge, who haven't had a conference game as of yet today. Now let's go to our side. Sitting 3-1. Again, we are also in that kind of that same basement spot with the loss. We took a loss to Pequot Lakes, a very good Pequot Lakes. I am told that it was a tale of two halves, as in same was the Hermantown game. I don't know if you got a chance to see that game here.
As typically it is.
Yeah. Well, the way we came out in that first half against Hermantown in that doubleheader, I for sure thought we'd come out a little more, but Coach Fensky brought those Hawks out, and they I'm not going to say they wanted it more, but they sure came out thinking it was a 0-0 ball game instead of having a 20-point lead. And I running the crossing here, I do get the opportunity to talk with Cody and Brody and John. John's my TA third hour and stuff, and we talk about a little bit about that. And I said, God, you guys got to come out like it's 0-0, and John goes, yeah, we know. So basically telling these guys, what they already know. So scoring-wise, right now, as it states with the games that are on the hub, your high scorer right now is going to be Eldine at 44, and Piero 35, and Hampton's not far behind. And then the big kid that they're watching now too is Dylan Holmes. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to turn over to the in-house for the anthem and such, and then there's an award that Cody Hampton's going to be honored for all-conference football all-academic. So we'll be back right after that in the starting lineups.
We hope you'll enjoy the game and support the students in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. At this time, we ask that you all rise. Gentlemen, remove your hats and direct your attention to the American flag located on the northern wall of our gym for our national anthem. Tonight being performed by Proctor's own Hannah Chiro. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Barnum Bombers. A 6'1" senior, number 3, Kyle Keelty. A 5'9" senior, number 4, Drake Watts. A 5'10" junior, to the Minnesota Football Coaches Association AAA Individual Academic All-Star Team. Cody was selected due to his athletic prowess on the football field as well as an all-defensive player that has also maintained a 3.9 GPA. Cody was selected to a 16-player team by 5 football coaches across the state out of approximately 4,500 students that play on the 58 AAA football teams in the state of Minnesota. Let's give Cody Hampton a round of applause for his efforts. And now the starting lineup for your Proctor Rails. A 6'3" sophomore, number 13, Dylan Hall. A 5'8" junior, number 12, Brett Bauer. A 6'3" senior, number 24, Cody Hampton. A 6'6" senior, number 55, Brody Eldine. And a 6'2" senior, number 33, John Pioro. Your Rails are coached by Dan Baumgartner, Tom Sample, and Cole Lipinski. The head coach is Mr. Todd Clark.
All right, back here at Proctor High School for tonight's tilt. Coach, we were just talking a little bit before we get into the tip. First off, that's pretty awesome. Cody Hampton getting that honor, 3.9 GPA, with all the things he was doing. What I was starting to say as they were doing those announcements, you know, not only is he a three-sport athlete, not only is he a 3.9 grade point average student, but he's also involved in our I just lost all my thoughts with Lisa Smith.
Special Olympics?
With our Special Olympics and with our combined Phi-Eds and all that stuff. I mean, the time he puts in is amazing, and still have that 3.9. I take my hat off to the young man.
Oh, and he's a great kid.
Absolutely great kid. Remember, got a word. I got a word. I got to get in.
Well, Ted, we're in for a slobber knocker here.
Hate to say it, but it's a barn burner. See the pun there?
There you go. That's good.
All right, here's the tip. Piero tried to get it over to Hampton, and the Barnum Bombers intercepted. It's a football term.
That's all right. There's football players on the floor.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So that's number 4. That's Wheats. That's hits for 3. And Brett Bauer going to bring it up the floor for the Rails. Comes across half court, gives it to Hampton. Hampton to Piero. Piero comes left side, gives it to Hom. Hom pushes it out, and it's going to go out of bounds off of Wheats. Dylan Hom, Coach, just, you know, is one of those players that Coach Clark saw a lot in from this summer and stuff. And during our preseason interview, said was that kid that he thought was going to see a lot of minutes for being one of the younger kids and had really developed.
Yeah, I got to spend a lot of time around the guys during the summer, you know, at the tournaments and stuff, and just summer ball, and it's been a great time sitting and watching these guys grow up from 8th graders. You know, now there's seniors on the team that I got to watch grow the last 4 or 5 years, and just watching Dylan play this summer was a super lot of fun. I got to watch him play in the sophomore Paysetter State tournament. They went. Coach Clark took 5 guys down. He took 4 sophomores and my son Owen, a freshman, and the 5 of them boys played 4 games in one day.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, and they played well. They won their first game, and then, you know, had a little trouble from there, you know, with legs still being underneath them. But there was more people watching the 7th place game than there was watching the 1st place game because they wanted to see if the guys could do it.
Nothing wrong with that.
So yeah, he's a tremendous talent. He's got a very, very bright future here.
Very good. The issue there, if you were watching, folks, is that the possession arrow was going the wrong way. We did win the tip, but because the Barnum got it on the interception, they left it our ball, which it should not have been. So possession arrow, Barnum on that jump ball down low, and they're going to call another jump ball, and it'll be Rails ball.
I think that was a great defensive play there by Cody. You know, he gave him space. He got up. He got his hands on the ball. That was the right call by the officials.
Absolutely. Why the Rails bring it up, talked with Coach Nelson in regards to keys to the game for them, and they said good D and stop our shooters. They said they know that we have great shooters. Another interception there for Barnum. Eldine tried to feed it into Piero. That was Nas that went up with the shot, got his own rebound, tried again, and Rails get the ball. Piero pushes it out to Hom. Hom up to Eldine. Eldine goes right side, gives Hom. Hom over to Hampton. Hampton goes top the key, gives to Eldine. Bauer now, left side. Hom over to Hampton, right side, comes top of the key to Bauer. Bauer gives to Piero. Piero going to drive the paint. Try to give it off to Hampton. Another errant pass. That's 3 errant passes for Piero that caused turnovers. Actually 2, sorry.
Sometimes it's not always good to make that extra pass.
Take the step, drive, and you're in the paint. Take the shot.
Put her up.
Kelty pushes it out to that was Nas, and he hits for 3. That's 2 consecutive three-pointers for the Bombers.
Yeah, they're going to need to get out there and get a hand in the face.
Absolutely. A couple other ones they wanted to score early and often. They said their scoring has been very sloughy in the first 4 games, and defensively they've done a good job so far, and they've got on the board. And also rebounding, they said they've always had a hard time. Hampton for the first 2. For the Rails, they said they got a rebound. They've always had a hard time against our big guys.
You know, Ted, before the game when we were talking, he was talking about one of my favorite players to watch at Scholastica. He's actually sitting right in front of us. Brandon Newman in the house here at Proctor.
Nice.
We got some Scholastica guys sitting here. It's all right. It's all good. What's up, fellas? Yeah, we just got a smile from Brandon Newman. That's Barnum royalty.
That's it. Nas brings it top of the key, tries to go inside. He's got Brett Bauer defensively. Kicks it over to Lavica. Lavica goes inside. That was to Kilty, who turns it over. Brett Bauer comes up with the loose ball and pushes it up the floor.
But that was a great cut. Pass was just a half a second late.
They don't call him the best color man in the business for nothing, folks. Pushes it out to Hom. Hom has a hard time handling inside Eldine. Eldine goes up and off the glass for a nice kiss, and that brings it to 6-4. Barnum here with 14-21. At least I think that's 21. It could be 51, could be 58. Not 100% sure.
Looking at the other clock, that is 54.
All right.
Yeah, that should be Proctor's game plan going forward here, is just to feed the monster. Get it into the post, give Brody the ball, let him go to work.
Ball goes over to Lavica. Lavica over to Wheats. Wheats tosses it out of bounds, and it'll be a turnover on Rails ball. For those of you that are watching from Barnum, I will get better with your players' names as we go forward here.
They're gritty, Ted. I'm looking forward to the rest of this game because it's just good, solid basketball right now. We're seeing some turnovers, we're seeing some errant passes, but we're seeing some good screens, we're seeing some good cuts to the basket.
Piero goes top of the key. He's got Dylan Hom right there for help. Down left side to Hampton. Back up to Piero for 3. Kisses off the edge, but Eldine goes in, gets the board, and puts it up and ties it up at 6s for us.
Ooh, that could have been a double dribble there.
I thought it was, actually. Wheats brings it up the floor for the Barnum Bombers. Pushes it over to Nas. Nas back to Wheats. Wheats looking for the inside man, pops a 3, goes off the front of the lip, and Bauer gets it, pushes up to Piero. Piero to Hampton. Hampton back to Piero, drives inside, pushes it out to Hom for 3. Oh, and it rings out. And Wheats comes up with a board, but it looked like his feet were on the baseline. Drives, brings it up across midcourt. Down low to Kilty. Kilty back to Wheats. All the way to the far side. That's Lavica that went up for the shot, no good. And putting it back up, that's Goodwin for 2 and brings it 8-6 in favor of the Bombers.
Lots of good passing there on that end of the floor. That was a good possession for Barnum. Pass the ball back and forth. Boom, we get a little dinky-doo layup.
I think that's the key of the game, right?
Dinky-doo layup?
Around, dinky-doo layup. Push it around, move it around. That makes that defense spread out, get tired. Now you get your shots. Piero drives inside, loses the ball as he slides on the floor. That looks very slippery. Wheats drives, takes 2 steps, and he's going to get an and 1.
I think that was a good call.
So that's Bauer's first, team first.
First team foul. Barnum line shooting 1 basket was there. Into the game for
Dumars now into the game, and along with Westendorf for the Rails. Dylan Hom takes a seat. Wheats completes the and one for a three-point play, making 11-6 here with 11:50 left here in the first half. Bauer brings the ball across half court, pushes it over to Westendorf. Westendorf back to Bauer.
It looks like Barnum has shifted into a 1-3 zone here, Ted.
That, well, until he dropped down, it looked correct. Bauer pushes. Bauer went for the long court cross pass for Hampton, and Wheats got his hands on it and just couldn't keep it in bounds.
I like it. You know, you got to change it up a little bit. You don't always play man. You don't always want to play a zone. Let's change it up. See what they got.
I think I got to get you a glass and a bottle, and we got to have them look at us up here so that they can understand the reference I'm making. A nice pass from Bauer down to Westendorf, back inside into Eldine, and he goes up and he scores.
That was a great look.
Another 2 points, and has all 8 points here for the Rails to open the show. I am right, aren't I?
I believe you are correct.
He's got all 8 points.
That was a great look by Bauer.
That was beautiful. Wheats left side, Hampton on the pressure. That's Nas for 2.
And pretty much right now for Barnum, it's the Nas and Wheats show.
Absolutely. And coming into this, we kind of knew that that's what it was going to be, knowing that those two plus Goodwin are their top scorers. Can you hear me a little better now? I turned the headphones up just a hair.
Oh, absolutely, Ted.
Oh, see, now I can hear you. Bauer inside pushes it out. That's 2 for Dunbar, or for 3, I'm sorry.
You know, Ted, from this angle, because we were directly lined up behind that shot. That was beautiful for him. Beautiful.
Oh, I love having you around, Coach. Nas goes inside the arc, back out to Wheats for 3, and he drains it.
I'm not going to lie, that Wheats kid can shoot too, boy.
He can shoot, but we got to get in his face, man. That's crazy. We can't just let them have all day up there on the top of the arc. I mean, we got to watch Nas, who's their leading scorer, but again, Wheats isn't looking too shabby. Dumars saves that pass from going out of bounds. Westendorf with it now. Into Bauer. Bauer looking back out to Westendorf. Pushes over to Dumars. Dumars dribbles left side. Goes back to Westendorf. Down to Hampton. Hampton into Bauer to Eldine. And Eldine goes up and gets 2. Makes it 16-13 here. 9:30 left in the first half. Again, thank you for joining us and watching our broadcast tonight. We have Ben Haugen. We got Brian Yeary. I did that last game too. Braden Roweeder on a camera. We have that guy over there, Samuel Larson, on a camera. We got Ben Nyland down on our TriCaster running the production. So thank you to our students for being here and making this a student-run program. And thank you, Coach, for being here and adding the color to the commentary.
Oh, anytime. I think anytime that you can get students actively involved in anything. That was a good flop there by Bauer that they didn't call. Anyway, I think anytime you can get students involved in anything and let them take a little ownership and stuff, that's a great thing because it just builds confidence and keeps them going in life.
Absolutely. That's a great skill broadcasting-wise. So Bauer pushes it over to Westendorf, right side. Down to Dumars. Dumars tries to come inside to Bauer. And I don't know, are they not going to call anything today, Coach? Because I got to tell you what, I thought Bauer got hit way early. And I know pass interference would have been called if we were watching football there.
Yeah, you know, it depends on how you look at it. Sometimes as a coach, you get excited when they don't call anything, and there's other times you get real upset that they don't call anything.
I get you. Nas just tried to knock that 2-footer or that 12-footer down for 2, goes wrong, and Bauer comes up with the rebound.
I do know that the 2 officials that we have tonight will let the guys play.
You probably know that from experience.
Oh, yeah.
Inside to Eldine. Eldine pushes it to Dumars for 3, and it rolls off side to side. And that's number 11, Lavica, that comes up with the rebound. And it's going to be a timeout. First timeout taken by the Bombers here in the first half. And we got a score of 18-15 with 7:28 left. We'll be back right after these words.
Proctor Public Schools has a proud tradition of being a leader in promoting outstanding learning opportunities for our students. Proctor's 150 square mile district serves the city of Proctor and the neighboring communities from Spirit Mountain to Fish Lake, and residents of Bayview Heights, Twig, Midway, Solway, Grand Lake, and Kenosha Townships. We pride ourselves on the success for each student. Proctor Public Schools. We educate, engage, and inspire.
We are Rail Strong.
Back here at Proctor High School for tonight's matchup between the Bombers from Barnum High School and our very own Proctor Rail. Score sits 18-15, 7 minutes 38 seconds left here in the first half. We got the new scoreboards. They're down in the hallway. I'm told maybe after by break.
That's what I hear.
They'll be up. That'll be nice. Just bringing up something that I talked to their coach about, this number 43 here that's out on the floor now. That's Anthony Robinson. He called him, Nelson called him Tony Robinson. I said, wait, isn't that the big tall guy that does motivational speaking? He said, can't be. It's a short African-American guy who doesn't match. But he said he's really interested in this young man and his ability, and thinks that by the end of summer, and I think Piero just got away with a walk there, he's pretty impressed that this young man will be something by the end of the year.
Well, just from what we've seen in the last 10 seconds, Ted, it looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Nas pushes out to Robinson, does not get the over and back, but turns the ball over. Westendorf comes in. Here comes Eldine. Eldine stops, top right side of the key, gives it to Westendorf, back inside to Eldine. Back to Westendorf, top of the key to Piero, over to Dumar, down to Piero down on the left side. Dumar's Piero, that would be Jacob Piero, not John, now to John Piero, 4-3, and he's going to hit it.
Yeah, you cannot give John Piero more than 2 feet because he'll shoot the ball. If he crosses half court and you give him 2 feet, he'll shoot the ball.
Absolutely. So we got an 18-18 ball game here, 5:12 left in the first half. And they're going to get, look like Jacob for a push.
You know, Ted, on the coaching side of it, when you're sitting there and you see a foul like that called, them ones really frustrate you, especially when you're watching your players get tackled on the floor and they're letting them play, and then you get a touch foul
little
like that.
ticky-tack foul. Yep, yeah. I agree. So that's Jacob Piero's first, team's second of the half. Wheats over to Nas. Nas goes, tries, dribble, right side, loose, picks it up, gives it back to Wheats, top, feeds him into Nas, into the paint, and they're going to get him on a travel. And it'll turn it over and give it Rails ball.
I don't know if I agreed with that call.
I thought it was more of a push from us that caused the travel, but again, maybe it was a makeup for the light-handed push on the other corner.
Well, you know, Ted, it's real easy to officiate from up here.
It is, isn't it? Piero down to Dumars. Dumars into the paint, pushes it back out to Hom over to Jacob Piero for 3, off the backside. And we had 2 Rails come in, and that would have been John Piero and Brody Eldine that both went up for the rebound and shove it out of bounds. And it'll turn it over to the Bombers.
Yeah, we're going with a little pressure here now.
Wheats to Nas. Nas into the paint. Easy bucket for 2. You know, go ahead.
Not a lot you can do there. You know, you put a little pressure on, see what you got.
Well, if you're going to do that, full court press, you need to make sure you can get back on defense. And Piero tried to save it and toss it out of bounds before Hom tried to kill one of the Barnum players on the bench. Bauer now back in for Dumars. Wheats passes it into Nas. Nas far left side, right on the rails. Piero putting pressure. Gets it across court. Here's Robinson now. Robinson going right side. Looking to toss. He tosses it left side, gives it back to Wheats. That was Casey that's over there, number 2. Back inside, they're going to get Piero. Oh. Yep, they gave.
Yeah, Piero and Wheats are banging pretty good there in the paint.
They are. So that's Piero's first, team's third. 4:45 left here. First half, 20-18. And I got to tell you, Coach, if we're talking tale of 2 halves, as we've been for most of the games this year, I'm hoping this is our down half.
I would
come
agree
on firing in that second half. Piero tried to intercept the ball that went to Casey. Casey out to Nas. Right side. Gives up the dribble, looking for help. Toss it over to number 3. That's Kelty, who gives it to Wheats. Wheat's going to push it over to Robinson. Robinson's looking for help. He's got Nas down on the far side. Back up to Robinson. Robinson drives up to the arc. 2-man press. Pushes it down. Wheats down to Kelty. Kelty for 3. It does not go. And Robinson will get the rebound and drive right back into the paint. Try to get it to Wheats. Or pardon me, tried to get it to Nas. Back out to Wheats. And it's going to go off the hand of Dylan Hahn and go out of bounds. That
was a good possession by Barnum. Very good possession.
Good
great
pressure.
Ball movement.
Yep. Good offensive pressure. Really not allowing that 2-man press to do much to him.
Yeah, and it was a very good defensive possession there by Proctor too. Burned some time off the clock. They made him move the ball around. They used all 42 by 42 feet, Ted.
Absolutely. So Robinson now top left side. Ball's picked off. After it was dropped by Piero. Piero kisses the glass, ties the game up at 20 apiece with 3:37 left here in the first half. And they're going to get Piero on a push as he was coming up court. Good thing that Cody Hampton's all right there, because him and Wheats just had one heck of a run in there.
Yeah, you always worry about it when a guy hits the floor. If they bump their noggin, then you get into concussion protocol, and the big thing is that he's okay.
Absolutely. So Westendorf in for Piero now that he's got to. His second, team's 4th. Robinson down to Lavica back into the game also now for Barnum. Over to Wheats. Wheats down, that's Kelty. Back out to Lavica. Kelty again, Lavica. Robinson.
You see what Barnum is doing here against Proctor's 1-3-1 is they're dropping 2 guys down the short corner, and they're just having them creep in a little bit. And they've got a couple quick looks there, but they haven't been able to drop it there yet. I can't believe they didn't call a foul on that on Dylan Hahn. I mean, he swatted that pretty hard.
That's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to stay Barnum ball. I agree.
Jump ball, Barnum ball.
I'm guessing he got nothing but ball, and it didn't do the whole over the back thing. He came from the side.
Well, what I think that some of the officials just look at the big arm swat, and that's what they go with. Oh, that's got to be a foul.
Well, we know that if we hear ball and he's to the side, it should not be a foul, but what do you do?
True.
Ball's on the floor again. Robinson picks it up inside. That's to Kelty, and that's going to be an and one.
That was a great dish by Robinson. Great.
Oh, did that
dish.
not go in? No, it did go in. Yeah, it'll be an and one. Back into the game now for Barnum is number 5, Nas. Timeout taken by the Rails. And we're going to take our own timeout, and we'll be back right after this. Back here at Proctor High School with that commercial, want to give a shout out to all our sponsors that are making this possible. You got Tamarack Building Materials up on Highway 53, Heritage Window and Door over in Superior. We got the Reed Foundation, the Rails Endowment for Academics, Arts, and Athletic. And I just lost my words. Development, thank you. We also have the Irving Foundation, or the Irving Community Club, Polling for Kids, who gave us a grant. Sammy's Pizza, Lake Superior Office Supplies, to see if Kelty hits this and one. And he does not, so it stays 2-point play. Dylan Hahn comes down with a rebound. And fans, if you call it Sammy's Pizza and mention this broadcast, they'll give you $6 off 2 large, 1-topping pizzas. That's Sammy's Pizza, West Duluth. $6 off 2 large, 1-topping pizzas. Tell them that you were watching the broadcast and you heard it here. And thank you to Sammy's Pizza for advertising with us and allowing us to continue to get equipment to continue to be able to broadcast for you folks. Now back to the game. Robinson comes down with Hahn's long 3 attempt. Barnum pushes back over to Robinson in the left corner. And that was Cody Hampton with the
dunk it. No dunk. Sorry, Ted.
I was hoping that was going to go so I could have used the word, but it's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to go off Westendorf, and it's going to stay Barnum basketball. Back into the game for Barnum, number 15, Goodwin. He's coming in for number 2, Quinn Casey, another one of the players that Nelson was talking about that he can see some great things out of in the future.
Absolutely. Boy, Ted, this has been a turnover-riddled first half. It's hard to believe 16 minutes into the first half, Barnum just had their first foul called on.
So that foul is called on number 43, Anthony Robinson. That's his first and the team's first. Yeah, I would agree. A lot of turnovers, and even though we have 5 on the board now, very interesting how low that the fouls have been also.
Oh, been a very clean game that way. It's just both teams are having trouble hanging onto the ball here in the first half.
Robinson comes in right side, feeds it back out to Kelty. Now over to Kelty. Kelty looking for help. He's got Nas inside, takes 2 steps off the glass, does not get it to fall. And Hampton almost had it, got a hand on it, got it over Lavica.
And he just got manhandled there on that. That was a hard hand check foul there by Cody Hampton.
Well, he gets a little frustrated. He's one of those players.
It's always best to keep a level head. The guy that reacts to the first push is always the guy that gets caught.
Absolutely. That's a long 3. That was Kelty. Did not get it to fall. And Eldine comes down with the rebound, pushes it up. Eldine now top of the key over to Westendorf. Westendorf looking for some help. He's getting on the count, now on the dribble, brings it top, resets Bauer. All the way, was trying to get all the way over to Dumars and was intercepted by number 11, Lavica. And we're going to have another penalty called, and it's now going to be the team's 7th, which takes it to a 1-and-1.
Yeah, that was a pretty weak call on that foul, in my opinion. But, I'm not an official, Ted.
That's it. You're officially not an official.
Officially not an official.
There you go. That foul is on Westendorf. That's his first, team 7th. And number 11, Lavica, he hits the first of 2. At halftime, folks, we'll take a break at half and get our numbers and stuff in line. We'll come back. We'll recap the first half. We'll just give you some of the sights and sounds of what we got going on here at Proctor High School here in the gym. So Lavica missed the second of the 1-and-1, and the Rails come down with the board. Bauer is going to reset. He's got Dumars right side, now back to Bauer.
Yep, Coach Clark just pulled him out. He wants the last shot.
24 seconds left here on the clock.
And Brett's just going to stand there and hold the ball.
Well, that's the nice thing is these kids, even no matter what they hear from the stands, they respect that coach and Coach Clark. And if he says we want last shot, he's going to make sure that we get last shot. Nice dish inside to Dylan Hom.
That was a completely unselfish look and then a quick turnover by Barnum.
He stepped in on the inbounds pass, and it's going to be a turnover, and it's going to be Rails ball with 3.2 on the clock. Maybe we can get a quick shot and go up by 3 instead of 1 here.
I would just lob the ball into Brody Eldine here.
Absolutely. Get it into Brody and just have him put it right back up. And he's going to get
2 free throws, and there's still time on the clock.
Absolutely. So that's Wheats. That's his first, team second.
At the line, shooting 2, Brody Eldine.
Yeah, Brody started the game off with a hot hand, and then they kind of went away from him the latter part of the first half.
Yeah, and it's not like they got any pressure on him or anything like that in the aspect of, okay, we're going to, really double up on him and not let him shoot. It's interesting how we go away from things. That old, the analogy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But Eldine now.
He drains them both.
Eldine hits them both. It's now 26-23. And there's the buzzer and a long shot that gets stuck by Wheats. I tell you what, he threw that pretty hard and accurate to get that to get stuck up in there. So at halftime, at the buzzer, it's 26-23. Your Rails lead the Bombers of Barnum High School
And we'll be back here in just a little while. Enjoy the sights and sounds of Proctor High School.
Back here at Proctor High School, I just ripped out the ears of Coach Brenna. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
I don't think I've ever seen you jump that high. All right. So got about 15 seconds left here before we start the second. 26-23, the Rails lead. I was going to get all those stats, but I got stopped by people asking me about the broadcast at Bayview today. So those of you that are watching this broadcast right now, just please pass the word that we understand that the 3rd grade and the 5th grade in the choir did not show up on our live stream. We will get that rectified, and they will be on air as of Thursday evening. So we do apologize. Again, that was our first broadcast in that building, and we now know a couple of things. Don't set up where we were. The reason the last 2 went so well is because we moved and we actually hardlined right into the school's server setup, so it helped us out a little bit. So,
well, Ted, here's your keys for the second half for both teams.
Score.
Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. Box out, rebound, and make your bunnies.
And don't turn the ball over.
Don't turn the ball over.
Eldine now right side. Back to Bauer. Over to Piero all by himself. Takes the jumper and does not get it to go. Goes out of bounds, and it'll be Barnum ball.
That was a good wide open look, though, for Piero there. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Ted.
Again, folks, they don't call him the best color guy in basketball for no reason. Wheats over to, I forget who that was, sorry. Wheats over to Lavica. Lavica back to Wheats, back to Lavica. Down to Kelty. Kelty goes inside. Goodwin with a little floater and gets it to go. And it's now a 1-point ball game, 25-26. Rails lead.
You know, the Rails got lucky on that possession that when Goodwin had the ball there, he didn't see that Nas was standing completely by himself underneath the basket. Not that it did him any good because Barnum scored anyway.
But still.
Nas was standing there by himself.
So Dylan Hom, top left side, pushes over to Bauer. Bauer went to take the shot, and Kelty got in his face inside to Hom, and Hom is going to go and for a and shoot 2. That's foul on number 5. That's Nas. That's his first, and it is the team's first. Hom hits the first of 2. Every time I say Lavica, I think of the of Laka.
Yeah, from Taxi.
Yeah, exactly. And Hom hits them both, and it's now 28-25.
And here come the Rails with some pressure.
And Wheats gets across half court, dips it down to Goodwin, and Goodwin gets an easy one.
That was a great no-look pass.
Bauer up to Hampton. Hampton over to Eldine, back to Bauer. All the way over to Hampton, takes a step. Thought he was going to set up and shoot inside Eldine at the box. Pushes it out to Hampton. Hampton back to Eldine, top of the arc. Down low to Piero. He's looking for some help. Doesn't get it, goes into the paint, little floater, gets it to drop.
That was a nice move.
You know
nice move.
Yeah, what I was going to say earlier, you know, this these two teams, the only team they have in common that they played was that Crosby-Ironton game, and they're going to call Nos for a travel. It'll be a turnover, it'll be Green Rails ball. Anyways, the scores were almost identical on those 2 wins between the two. So, you know, comparable ball clubs.
Absolutely. You know, 4 games into the season, you know, there's 22. Each team's got 22 regular season games left. You know, stuff really gets real here in Section 7 AA in February. You know, and I would fully anticipate both of these teams making a deep run into the playoffs. I'd actually be really surprised if neither one of them didn't. You know, but your Crosbys and your Pequots and your Esco.
Right.
You know, these are also three other teams in the section that, you know, are going to be teams to contend with. Oh, Brody Eldine just got that one off his fingertips, Ted. That would have been code word time.
That would have been code word. And I've got it just waiting.
Nice move by Hampton there.
If Hampton had got that to fall, it would have been right there. Doesn't have to be a dunk. It would have just been right there. And that's going to be on Eldine. That'll be his first.
I think they're going to go Dylan Hom here.
Are they? Yep, they sure did. That is his first also. That's where I'm missing the one. So that's his second first team foul here in the second half. So Noss at the line knocks down the first of two.
You know, Ted, on a foul, and when you're the opposing coach, if he misses the player misses his first free throw, it's automatically a good foul.
Absolutely. Cut that score in half. Absolutely.
You know, that was not a good foul.
That was not a good foul. He hit both of them and takes it 29-32. Rails still lead this ball game. 14:56 to go. Piero tries a mid-range three. Goes off the front edge of the rim.
His last three, he's front rimmed.
Got that one off the hands. Bauer comes down with the interception. Jump stopped into Hom. And Hom's going to go to the line and shoot two again.
That was a great transition play, too. We're seeing some great transition plays tonight, Ted, out of both teams. It's fun watching them push the ball up and down the floor.
Absolutely. That's Lavica's first, team's second of the half. And Hom on to hit, and as of right now, he's 100%.
Hopefully you didn't jinx him, Ted.
3 for 3 from the line. I typically don't.
You jinxed him, Ted.
He's 750%, right? Because it's 1,000, you miss 1 of 4, that's, you know.
Absolutely.
That was a big travel. And
instead of getting a travel call, they get a three.
Man, I got to find a place to get this in here. Bauer top, over to Hampton. Hampton comes over the top, back to Bauer. Inside to Piero. Piero turns, little jumper, and misses it. He's just shy off the front of that edge on the last few shots.
Good also there by Cody Hampton.
Going to be a jump ball, and it's going to stay with Barnum.
You know, even on a tie-up like that, you always worry about a kid when there's one laying on the floor holding the ball and one comes right over the top and lays on top and grabs it.
I know I spelled it wrong, but that's you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Out to that's Lavica, and he hits it for three. And now Barnum takes a lead, 35-33 here with 13:22 left here in the second half. Hampton to Bauer. Bauer over to Piero. Piero all the way across to Hampton, who pushed it inside. Now back Bauer. Piero back to Hampton. Hampton takes a step, dribbles out, gives it to Bauer. Bauer fires for three, and he's off the front of the rim also. And it looks like Eldine is going to get a foul. And he wasn't even there. All right. Whatever. I'll take it.
They called that on Piero?
They did.
He was at the top of the key. How did he call that?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's why I thought for sure that that was going on Eldine, because it was down in that far right corner. But
well, Ted, that's why we're not officials.
You've said that a couple times. Got him on a travel. That's Wheats. That's his second foul or travel call on that type of a play. Eldine into Bauer.
I think for the Rails to take control of this game here, they're going to need to pound the ball into Brody Eldine and let him get to work. I mean, you know, he's working in there. They got to feed him the ball. And Brody's lucky he didn't get called there for a handful of jersey.
That was Dumars for the long shot. That's Wessendorf into Eldine off the glass. Goes up, gets the rebound, goes back up and puts it in and ties it up. I think you're right, Coach. I think they heard you.
I think that's what they're going to have to do here in the second half to, you know, either keep pace or pull ahead, is just keep pounding the ball into Brody and let him get to work. And
let him earn that pay.
Yep, see what happens.
Wheats for three, and he hits it.
But holy cow, Barnum is shooting the lights out of the ball right now.
They absolutely are. Wheats and Noss.
And Lavica here.
Yeah, Lavica. Westendorf pushes it inside Eldine. Eldine pushes it out to Bauer for three.
and it goes off the other side of the rim. And we just cannot get anything outside of about 3 feet to fall.
Well, you know what you do then, Ted. You get the ball 3 feet in, you let them go to work.
That's it. Again, not the best color man in the business for no reason. Waits for the pull-up jumper, goes off, and with Eldine's help, Bauer will come down with that rebound. Drives it inside, Eldine. They got an odd man defensive rush we could have done something with.
Sometimes a simple little pass ain't a simple little pass.
Amen to that. So Wheats brings it up over to, that's number 11, Lavica. Back to Wheats, out to Kelty. Kelty left side, and he travels again and turns it over.
Well, there's a tale of two halves on the officiating side, too. First half, they let them play, and now they must be getting paid in the second half. How many times they blow the whistle?
Oh, that could be. Though again, you got to understand that's the second time where he started to dribble without that ball going to the floor and out of his hand, and took a step. So
you are right, sir.
You know, it's got to be called, even in the best of games, in the worst of times. Get it?
Absolutely.
Inside, Piero back out. That's Piero down in the corner, back to big brother Piero. Takes a little jumper, falling away, and gets it to fall.
He needs to be careful when he's flying in there on offense that he doesn't pick up his fourth here on an offensive foul.
So that's Lavica. They're going to get a push on, that's on Dumarsh. That's going to be his first, team's third.
Yeah, they've really tightened up the officiating here in the second half. They went from letting them play to now everything is getting called, which, you know, depending on how you look at it.
Good or bad.
Yeah.
So my question is, did you think that the coaches had anything to do with that?
It's hard to say. You know, when we were sitting up here watching them both walk off the floor and even coming up before the second half started, we really didn't see the officials talk to either coach. So.
Right. That last basket for Barnum was Goodwin. Takes it to 40-37 Barnum. And John Piero's pass inside to Westendorf was intercepted by Wheats, who brings it up the floor. Now Lavica right side. Lavica takes a step inside to Goodwin. And Goodwin's going to get, oh no, that's going to be Piero with the kick, and it'll stay Barnum ball. Again, want to thank our student workers tonight. We got Kyle Haugen over on a camera. We got Sam Larson on a camera. Braden Roweeder on the other camera, and Ben Nyland. Ben, the I Talk Too Much Nyland, down there on the TriCaster, doing his thing. Inside, Piero, out to Piero. Piero jumps, fires, doesn't get it to fall, but falls right into the hands of Westendorf after two Barnum players hit each other, and they score, and it makes it 42-39. Barnum with 9:43 left here in the second half. And it looks like Proctor's going to take a timeout. We'll do the same thing, and we'll be back right after these words.
Proctor Public Schools has a proud tradition of being a leader in promoting outstanding learning opportunities for our students. Proctor's 150 square mile district serves the city of Proctor and the neighboring communities from Spirit Mountain to Fish Lake, and residents of Bayview Heights, Twig, Midway, Solway, Grand Lake, and Kenosha townships. We pride ourselves on the success for each student. Proctor Public Schools. We educate, engage, and inspire.
We are Rail Strong.
Back here at Proctor High School, boys basketball versus the Bombers of Barnum High School. 9:43 left here, second half. Barnum is leading the Rails 42-39. We'd like to thank you for joining us here tonight. If you are watching, go ahead and leave a message. Let us know who's there. We can say hi, give shout-outs, all that kind of fun little stuff. But also want to thank our sponsors, Heritage Window and Door, Tamarack. You got the Irving Community Club Pulling for Kids. You got the Reed Foundation, Rails Endowment for Academics, Arts, Athletics, Development.
There you go.
And we also have Great Lakes Office Supplies and also Sammy's Pizza West Duluth. Remember, folks, Sammy's Pizza West Duluth. Mention this broadcast, you'll get $6 off 2 large, 1 topping Sammy's Pizzas only at Sammy's Pizza, West Duluth. Thank you to all of our sponsors for allowing us to be bringing these broadcasts to our fans and our community. Now back here at the game, it's 42-39. Barnum leads, and Noss just hits another three to take it 45-39 and give Barnum a 6-point lead.
You know, Ted, I believe I said in the first half, the first couple that Noss hit, that Proctor's going to need to close that out a little faster, get a hand in the face.
You did say
they apparently aren't listening to the broadcast.
No, they are not, and that is what was said. Inside of Bauer, back out to Piero. Piero over to Dumars. Dumars for three, and Goodwin comes down with the rebound for Barnum, but we can't get the three to fall to save ourselves.
No, we can't. I don't know why they're not trying to pound the ball inside.
Noss is going to go inside, fouls on the floor, and that's going to go against number 21. That's Carter Dumars. That's going to be his second, team's fourth. Into Noss. Nobody goes out and does anything against him, and he hits the three. And I think we have to understand we got to wake up and go play some defense.
Yeah, you can't let a shooter shoot.
So now 48-39.
You know, Noss has scored their last 6 points down, both trips down the floor, and there has been not a real defender anywhere near him.
Especially this last one. I think he had 3 continents between them.
Exactly.
And Dumars gets a 3 to fall, and we've now broken the seal. And hopefully we can get some more to fall.
Hope so. You know, sometimes you wonder if at halftime when you weren't paying attention, somebody put some cellophane over the top of the hoop.
Yeah, right. Oh, wait a minute. That would stop every ball then.
Ooh, there's a nice flop by Eldine.
Well, I think Goodwin got a good piece of him and knocked him down. And
I don't know. I think I agree with Coach Newman on that one. That one there's going to get him a Golden Globe nod. That was Brandon Newman written all over it, man. You should see that kid hit the floor at Scholastica.
So that's Samuel Goodwin. That's his first, team's third.
Sorry, Brandon.
So 48-42. Bombers lead, 7:24, clock ticking. If you just joined us, first half was laden with not many whistles and a whole lot of turnovers. And this half has been absolutely the other side where it's been not a whole lot of turnovers.
But a whole lot of whistles.
But a whole lot of whistles.
A whole lot of missed whistles followed by a quick whistle.
So that's Brody Eldine.
I mean, Ted, you know,
that's his first, team's
we're
fifth.
halfway through the second, just past halfway through the second half here, and we have more fouls called in this half than we did in the entire first half.
We absolutely do. Goodwin drives in, makes a nice little move, and scores 2. Makes it 50-42. That's an 8-point lead for the Bombers of Barnum High School. Dumars has the ball, gets it over to Eldine. Eldine back to Dumars. Dumars looking for help. Got Bauer, left side. Back to Dumars. Was looking for Jacob Piero, but Piero went into the paint. Down to Hampton. Hampton over to Piero. Piero didn't get it to go. Eldine tried for the rebound. Pushes it out to Dumars, who went for 3 and missed. Now Wheats with the ball. Now to Noss. Noss drives right, left. Between his legs, around the world. Harlem Globetrotter.
It looked good.
It did. Lavica passes it over to Kelty. Kelty now going to drive the paint inside to Goodwin, and Eldine's going to get his second quick.
He really didn't have a choice there.
Yeah, and Goodwin's going to go to the line and shoot 2.
No, Ted, it was a good foul.
Good foul. 50-42 right now. We have 5:18, I think it is, on the clock, or is that 6:18?
That's 6:18.
On the clock here, Proctor High School.
You know, Ted, once again, rumor has it there's new scoreboards coming.
Well, I know they're here. It's
but
just
they're not
a matter
up
of
yet.
when they're up. We got a busy custodial staff, you know.
Absolutely, they do a great job.
They have so much going on that I take my hat off to everything they do, and I'm sure they will do their part to get them up as soon as they can.
Oh, it's a big facility. You know, Randy and the guys do a great job.
Yeah, they absolutely do. It's a good staff, a little understaffed in my opinion, but opinions don't matter for everything. Inside, Eldine pushes it back to Westendorf, takes a dribble, pushes out Piero. Pirro inside to Hom for 2.
How did he make that pass?
I don't know, but it was pretty.
Holy cow.
And it looks like the Rails are going to go into a press now. And now they just got to get back on D. Wheats with the ball now. Wheats out, now over to Lavica. Lavica drives, push right side to Wheats. Now going to leave down to Nas. Nas for an easy jumper. Floats it up and over. Eldine comes down with it, pushes it to Bauer. Bauer pushes it across court. Quick. Pushes out to Piero. Piero on the fade and gets it to go. And one.
Wow.
That's going to be on Goodwin. That's going to be his second, team fourth. And Piero will go to the line shooting for the and one.
That could have went either way on that, Ted. Ooh. I'd have been okay if they'd have called the charge on that too.
Well, while they're getting the floor cleaned up, folks, this is our last broadcast before the new year.
Nice.
So we want to make sure that we hope everybody has a great holiday season. For those of you who Piero completes the and one, who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. For those with Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah, and everything else, whatever your particular holiday is this time of year. We hope you enjoy it with family. Everybody's safe in your travels, and that the students have a great break.
Boy, Coach Newman's getting fired up here. Rails turn the Bombers over there in the backcourt and just missed an easy layup there. And looks like they've woken up here on defense, Ted. This is going to be fun last 5 minutes.
I hope so. Inside, down low to Wheats. Wheats all the way over to Lavica. Lavica down to Nas. Nas try to get it into Goodwin and pushes it over to Piero. Piero out to Westendorf.
Curious that they didn't call a kick on that.
I was wondering the same thing on that. Piero gets the 3 to go in and out.
Yeah, he's just been off a little bit tonight from long downtown. Great steal by Dylan Hom there.
And almost a turnover, but Brody Eldine got it to Bauer. Bauer gets it and rims it. And Eldine will try to get the rebound, but Bombers got it.
Coach Newman calls a quickie here.
Calls a timeout. I believe it's his second of the half.
Yeah, get the boys to settle down here. You know, both sides. I think they're both starting to speed up a little bit and kind of lose their composure, just kind of screaming the ball up the floor and just chucking stuff up. Get everybody composed and relaxed, and all right, let's play 14 minutes, 18 seconds of basketball. 4-point game. Good times.
Absolutely. Good game. Hopefully we can continue to fight back here. Again, while we have a quick break, Coach, thanks for stepping in and helping out tonight. I appreciate that more than you know.
Oh, anytime.
Because otherwise everybody have to sit here and listen to me the entire time, and I don't even like to listen to me, so I can understand how it would be for everybody else.
Well, I don't know that I've added anything very productive, but...
You're doing a great job. We appreciate it. To all of our fans, all our students, and everything else, thank you for joining us here at Rails TV, and we'll try to do nothing but to make next year, as in the 2018 campaign, even better as it is with Rails TV. Thank you to our students who have done all the work here with Rails TV, not just tonight, but all year or all fall and winter season to this point. And thank you to all of our sponsors. All of your help is much appreciated. Piero misses with the miss, and Eldine goes and gets the rebound and pushes it back in, and it's now 53-49, makes it a 4-point game. Kelty inside to Nas. Nas looking for help. All the way across to Lavica. Lavica's going to try to dribble, doesn't. Now gives it to Wheats. Wheats standing right next to that half-court line. Back to Lavica. Lavica tries to drive. Gives it to Wheats. Wheats drives the paint. Goes up. Does not get it to fall. But there is going to be a a foul called.
Holy cow!
And
from this angle, that didn't look like a foul at all. But we're not standing on the floor.
Again, we're not reffing this game.
Nope.
So that's Bauer's second. That is the team seventh. See, 5 and 2 is 7.
Good job, Ted. The downfall for the Rails here is Barnum's going to be shooting free throws the rest of the game.
That is true also.
You know, Barnum's only got 4 on the board.
Not a bad view.
No, not at all.
Just showing Coach Brenna our live view of what everybody at home is seeing at the same time we are. As you can see, there's about a 10-second difference.
That's nice, though.
So, anyway.
Well, I'll be able to pull out my phone when I'm sitting on the bench at Finlandia and watch some Rails basketball.
Well, just make sure you pay attention to when we're broadcasting, because until we can get more equipment and or more help, we are doing basically 4 of each sport. So 4 of the boys basketball, 4 girls, 4 boys hockey, 4 girls, and so on.
That's good, though. I think this is a great experience for the students, and hopefully everybody that gets the opportunity to watch the games at home are enjoying it.
We hope so. We get a lot of good positive feedback, and so hopefully we can just keep moving forward. And
well, hopefully some of the feedback you'll get tonight will be don't have that guy back.
Don't have Brenna back ever again. And I'll just say, well, you know what? Too bad. I'm good with him being here. So 3:09 here, second half, 55-49, 6-point lead. Barnum in front of the rails. What are they looking at us?
Yeah. Everybody's sitting down in the chairs looking at us like, wow, they're talking about something, but they're not sure what we're talking about. So.
Well, but if they had the live broadcast up and headphones, they could be watching and listening.
They would know what we're saying.
Absolutely.
They would know that we were sitting up here talking about them watching us.
So coming out on the floor, you got Dylan Hahn, Brett Bauer, you got Brody Aldine, Cody Hampton, and John Piero. For the other side, you got Kelty Wheats, Lavica, Noss, and Goodwin. Actually, you don't have Kelty. You have Casey, number 2, that came in to spell. Ooh. I don't know how do they call that a foul? He was straight up and down, Coach, and he actually ran into him.
Yeah, as a coach, I'd be standing up and questioning that one. But there again, Ted, not wearing a stripe. Well, I am wearing a striped shirt, but I'm not wearing a black and white striped shirt.
Remember, you're supposed to wear stripes up and down. They make you look slimmy.
Oh, that's a good tip.
This way, yeah, it's a bad deal. So at the line, shooting 2, that's Noss. He hits the first of 2. 56-49 here with 2:56 left in the half. And Noss hits the second, and I believe at this point, I think he is actually 7 of 8.
I believe you're correct.
Or he's either 7 of 8 or 5 of 6 from the line.
At this point going forward, the Rails just can't waste any possessions. If you're going to go to the basket, you got to go hard.
Brett Bauer with a whipsicle jump there and put the ball in the hole.
Well played, Ted. Well played.
Makes it 57-51, 6-point lead. Bombers have the ball. Casey this side.
I thought at this point we would see Proctor dial up the pressure here a little bit.
Timeout taken by Barnum. And a good timeout. Casey was trapped up near the half-court line. I'm interested to see why, with the changes that Coach Nelson has made, why we haven't seen Robinson back in the game in the aspect of defensively. I thought he was one of his better players defensively when he was on the floor, but offensively he didn't have a whole lot of shots. But boy, the kid scrambled for the ball and he made some great passes.
Yeah, I thought he gave Barnum good minutes in the first half. He controlled the pace of the game when he was bringing the ball up the floor.
Right.
He was getting in there and getting gritty, getting dirty in the paint, getting after it. I thought he gave Barnum solid minutes. Solid minutes in the first half. It's kind of curious. I agree with you. As to why we haven't seen him here in the second half.
So we got a 57-51, 2:22 left here on the clock. Barnum called a timeout, their third of the half. And we're going to have the same 5 on the floor that we started with after the last timeout. You got Eldine, Piero, Bauer, Hom, and Hampton. And coming out for the Bombers, you got Noss, Goodwin, Kelty, Wheats, and number 11, Lavica. So Wheats brings it up. He gets it to Kelty. Kelty, top left side, gives it to Noss, top of the key. Bauer on defense, trying to get a hand in there. Back to Kelty.
If I was Bauer, I would not let Noss touch the ball again. I think Proctor's playing way too soft on them right now. I think they need to be up in their drill here a little bit. 2 minutes, 6-point game. Let's get after it, boys. That was a great hustle by Cody Hampton.
Cody Hampton, great hustle.
3 rows up in the bleachers.
Almost turned it over.
John Pierre with a silly spin move like that. That was just silly. I was trying to say sick, Ted, but I couldn't get sick out, so I went silly.
So that's Goodwin going to be called on the penalty, and it's going to send Piero to the line.
Well, let's score points with the clock not running. That's good, too.
Nothing wrong with that. That's his third, the team's fifth. And Piero will go to the line shooting 2.
No.
Oh, nope, they won't. They said it was a floor foul. Not sure I saw it that way.
I don't think I would agree with that call, but Coach Clark doesn't look too upset.
Eldine, and he's going to get the and one.
I want you to know I've known Coach Clark for 40 years. You know, we played together in high school, and we've coached together, and his expression never changes.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
His expression on his face is the same whether he's down by 40, up by 40, tie game, happy, sad. He just looks like that.
He's just coach. You know what? I told him, I said I'd like to do a pregame interview with him. Didn't get to do it. Eldine gets the and one to fall. That's now 57-54. Barnum leads. I was trying to get him to do a pregame interview. We just didn't have time. We're trying to get a couple of mechanical or electrical issues fixed.
Oh, boy.
That should have been
big
called.
Miss there.
And it should have been called.
There should have been a foul there.
Westendorf should have been called for a foul there.
Minute 23, 3-point game, Ted. This is what it's all about. Westendorf pops the J, man. We got a tie
Ties
game.
it up, 57-57. But he tried to come do that interview, and I said, I just can't because I didn't want to hold him up. But I told him before that, I said, you know, love to do an interview at halftime too. But if you don't show.
Holy cow, do you believe that call, Ted?
No. It should have went earlier. Just saying. But I said, I'd like you to come up at halftime, too, real quick. I said, but if you don't show, no matter what the score is, whether we're up or we're down, I'll understand. So he didn't show, and I knew why. You know, but you're right. He's either got that little smile or he's just that straight-laced. So Piero goes to the line, shooting 1 and 1, and he hits the first. Very important.
Whoop, Ted. Whoop.
So now 58-57, Rails out in front by a point. John Piero shooting second of 2, and he hits it. Important time to hit those 2 free throws.
And I got to dig in and deer up.
Deer up?
Deer up.
Deer up? All
deer
right.
up.
Sounds like defense. Why do you push that out?
Yeah, I don't know. Brody's lucky he didn't get called for a foul on that one there, too. All right, now we got some shooters coming in. Or Proctor's got some shooters coming in.
Yeah, that's we.
You know, but Ted, you know, this Barnum team's probably going to be fun to watch going through the season. You know, they're gritty. They get after it.
So they got to get a wet spot off the floor. Weeks was not happy. Eldine did get a good push there.
Well, that's 2 trips down the floor. He should have been shooting free throws. I don't blame him.
Absolutely.
You know, here comes a little pressure from Barnum. We'll see what Proctor's got for a press break.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get up the floor and get in front of that defense like they've done to us tonight when we've tried to press and beat that defense back and get an easy bucket and go up by 4.
I think former AD Rory Johnson should have got down and cleaned the floor there.
I don't disagree with that. There's the break.
Oh, boy, missed the pass. Get it up the floor, bro. Nice pass.
Up to, that's Dumars. Dumars to Bauer.
I can't believe they're not fouling yet.
I can't believe it either because all we're going to do is continue to play keep away.
Right.
Bowers. And
Piero's the guy you don't want to foul.
Yeah, and that's going to be number 5. That's Nas. That's going to be his second. That is team 6th.
But, you know, Nas and Weitz have both played a heck of a game here for Barnum.
Absolutely. Nas hasn't seen a foul until the 2 he's got here in the second half.
Yeah.
And he's a heck of a shooter, boy, I tell you what.
Hard-nosed kid on defense, too, man. He's fun to watch. Fun to watch.
So, 2-point game here. Got 29.2 seconds. Piero at the line shooting 1 and 1. And gets the first to fall. That's a big point right there.
That's a huge one, but this one's even bigger.
Yep. Make it a 2-possession game here. Goes off the front of the rim.
But he gets his own rebound, flips it back into Westendorf. Nice play, John Piero, nice hustle.
And there's going to be a foul called on Goodwin, number 15. And Cody Hampton will go to the line and shoot 1 and 1.
You know, Goodwin did a great job tonight, too. Great job.
That's Goodwin's 4th. Oh, they've got his 5th. That's probably where I'm missing one of our fouls. And he got all 5 in the second half.
Well, you know, the refs tightened it up a little bit, and you got to like it. You got to like it when you get 5 fouls and you use them all, but you don't hit your 5th one until there's 20 seconds left in the game. You got them, you might as well use them.
So Hampton. And Goodwin take it right to the forehead. Didn't see it coming. Going to go out of bounds, not only off a Rails player, but then out of bounds off Goodwin.
Add a little insult to injury to there,
a little bit. 12 seconds here. 60-57 Rails lead. Got to play good D here. They're going to push it down into Kelty for 3 off the rim. In through and out of the hands of Piero, then Eldine, then Piero, and it's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to be Rails ball.
With 3 seconds, 2.4 seconds.
2.4 seconds on the clock.
Barnum burns a timeout.
Barnum takes a timeout. We're going to do the same thing. We'll be back right after this. Back here at Proctor High School, got a barn burner. 60-57 Rails lead, 2.4 seconds. Timeout taken by the Barnum Bombers. It was a jump ball just now. The possession arrow does favor the Rails. So it'll be Rails ball with 2.4 on the clock. Both of these teams coming in 3-1 on the season. Somebody had to advance on the record, and somebody had to go backwards.
Yeah, you know, this game could have went either way. You know, back and forth all game. Looks like as of right now, with 2.4 seconds left, Proctor's a better team tonight.
Absolutely.
But there's still 2.4 seconds left, Ted. But anything can happen.
Absolutely. In the same time, Coach, you know, the thing you look at is, you know, in reality, with about 2 minutes left to go, I mean, we were down 6 points.
Yeah, and you know,
we woke up and something sparked, and you know, we decided to play, and that's what we were talking about at the beginning with that tale of 2 halves of okay, why do we wait to turn that on until 2 minutes left?
Well, I think that timeout that Coach Newman took a couple of minutes, about halfway through the second half, you know, that sealed it there for Proctor. You know, I think to settle his team down, it settled Proctor down more than it settled Barnum down, and I think Proctor actually benefited from the timeout that Barnum called. I mean, this was still a heck of a game. I'd like to see these two teams mix it up in the playoffs.
Absolutely. I got to tell you, Coach, right now, that's something I got to see a lot this year football-wise. That was Piero to Hampton for the long touchdown, 2 shots.
Absolutely.
Or 2-point basket, and a nice way to finish right before the horn. Your final here, 62-57. The Rails win, go to 4-1. The Bombers go to 3-2 on the season. And again, long season to go though. But you know, Coach Clark puts these guys in a position to win every night, and when they play, if they just follow his game plan. And the problem is trying to figure out which team will show up.
Well, you know, the benefit that Proctor has is the longevity with the coaching staff too. You know, with the exception of Coach Lipinski, who's the C-team coach, when I was still coaching with Coach Clark, we all came together from Marshall here. So Coach Clark, Coach Baumgartner, Coach Sample, and I all came together. You know, that was 5 years ago. You know, and we were together for almost 10 at Marshall. You know, so I mean, there's longevity with the coaching staff, which is huge, and that just breeds calmness and everything in the program. You know, and all of these guys play together year-round. You know, they play summer ball together. They hang out together. A good group of kids, and, you know, that's not knocking any other teams in the program. This is just what I see here at Proctor. And it's great being an alumni coming through the school, playing in this gym, playing alongside Coach Clark when we were in high school, to know that, you know, he's breeding the same type of players and young men that Coach Johnson, you know, did for us when we were in high school. It's just kind of a continuation. You know, he's basically the same stuff that Coach Johnson did, with you guys are going to dress up for every game. You're going to act like gentlemen. If you don't act like gentlemen, you're not going to be playing basketball here.
Right.
And, and with the longevity with the coaching staff, it's instilled in all the coaches, and now it's instilled in all the players, all the way down into the middle school ranks, which is incredible.
Well, that's that whole deal. And, I had a great conversation with a preseason interview with Coach Clark, and, that's one of the things I think here at Proctor, and not to say at any of the other schools in the area, but I think we're very lucky because there are so many of our coaches, with no matter what the sport is, that are really teaching not only the lessons of playing basketball, but more importantly, those lessons that the scoreboard doesn't reflect.
Absolutely.
That the life lessons that are going to make them quality young men in society. So I think we luck out in an aspect of having so many coaches that are on that same page of how we're going to do things.
And a lot of the coaches here at Proctor are also teachers, but when you're a coach, you're also a teacher. You're building people, you're teaching life skills, and you're teaching them how to work independently. You're teaching them how to work together as a team. You're helping them sort through problems and difficulties that they get through, in a game time situation. How are you going to handle this?
Right.
And with the coaches that we have here at Proctor, I think we have a very good group of coaches and a great group of kids that are benefiting from all of the knowledge that the coaches have. A lot of the coaches here at Proctor also went to school here.
Right.
So there's that pride factor there too. Hey, I played ball here, and now I'm coaching here, and this is important that you act this way, and this is how you're going to carry yourself, and this is how we're going to conduct ourselves in the classrooms.
Right.
Your students first, and that I think is really big, especially with Coach Clark.
Right. And, and how I'm going to close the evening here is say this, just to kind of go on the coattail of what you said. On a night where we got through our national anthem, and then we honored one of our own here, Cody Hampton, for being named to the all-academic, all-state team. It goes a long ways to prove exactly what you're saying in regards to the life lesson that's being placed more important than just the basketball lesson and the sport lesson, if you will.
Absolutely, and as a coach that's Coach Cody Hampton, to me it's more important to see him get that honor being on the all-state, all-academic team than just being on the all-state team.
Absolutely.
Because that tells everybody, hey, this kid handles his business in class, he handles his business in the community, and he handles his business on the field. The all-academic, all-state, to me, is a much bigger honor. I would accept it as a much bigger honor as opposed to just being on the all-state team.
Absolutely. And there's a reason why it's a student-athlete and not an athlete-student.
You are correct, sir.
Well, on behalf of myself, first, Coach, thank you very much for coming out and helping out with the broadcast. We truly appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
You're welcome anytime. Would love to have you back. So on behalf of Coach Brenna, myself, Ted Keefe, our student workers, Mr. Row Eater over here, Samuel Larson, we got Ben Nyland over there, we got Ben Haugen, Kyle Haugen, sorry, not Ben Haugen, Kyle Haugen. Thank you for joining us. Your rails up, your win. They took the scoreboard down, and I didn't write it down, but I know we won.
We did, by like 5.
So we will see you next time. Have a great night. And again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy Hanukkah.